Hey, it's Rebel Wilson, and I would like to welcome you to the Graham Norton Show.
You are also welcome to the show. And hello to our virtual audience watching from home. Hello! Oh, there you all are. And in case any of you are wondering, I am allowed to be here in the studio. Yeah, it's 7 miles from home and I cycled. Yeah, Boris out there spotted cycling 7 miles from Downing Street. And you think, why would he cycle so far away from home? Oh, that's right, he's got a new baby. Here is Boris out riding a bike. Yeah, not wearing a safety helmet in that picture. But to be fair, can we have a picture of Boris with a helmet? There he is. Hey, the helmet, see? The helmet. Yeah. So, who have we got on the show tonight? With me here in the studio, Scottish comedian, gone global, Daniel Sloss is here, everybody!
Thank you.
BAFTA-winning actor and director Noel Clarke is here! And she's the reigning queen of British television, it's Keeley Hawes! Shortly we'll be joined by the director of The Sixth Sense, Split and Unbreakable, M Night Shyamalan will be here. Fresh from their Mexican adventure together, SAS hardman Ant Middleton and Hollywood star Rebel Wilson will be joining us. Plus, right here in the studio, we will have music from the fabulous Jake Bugg, everyone. Yeah! Audience of 4. Over there. It must be the hardest gig of their lives, just the 4 of us going, going good, going good, great. Listen, lovely to have you all. A couple of first-timers. You've been here before, Keeley, obviously.
I can't stop.
Yeah, I know, you're dizzy. You've been around the block so many times. But we always look for connections between the guests. And, Dan, I don't know if you know this, but Keeley and Noel, both Doctor Who survivors.
Oh.
But not at the same time, right?
No, I think I was there before.
Who was your Doctor Who?
Chris Eccleston and then David Tennant.
Oh, OK, no, Peter Capaldi.
Oh, Johnny Come Lately.
Yeah. Last week, that practically.
Because you were Billie Piper's boyfriend, but then you survived her demise.
Yeah, the wonderful Mickey Smith.
Mickey Smith? Oh, God, you remember your name. Well done.
Yeah, just about.
That's very good. And you have a daily reminder that you were in Doctor Who in your house, have you not?
Yes, I do. I have a Cyberman helmet.
Now, I think you've posted a picture of the Cyberman helmet. There it is. So is that hanging on a wall or something?
No, I literally was on my hands and knees with my bum in the air, like the Truman Show, trying to get that picture.
Was that to put it on eBay? I want a nice no-shadow shot.
100%, you know, lockdown is tough on everyone. Lockdown's tough on everyone, so I'm just prepping my eBay picture.
Is it wearable?
It is wearable. It's the proper helmet. They did an extra one for my birthday, or so they say, of the original run, and that was it. So it is actually wearable.
Have you ever answered, like, the door with it, or, like, worn it during
No,
the set?
I've only ever wore it for the missus, but we won't talk about it.
Who's cyber now? Yeah. Delete. Because you were proper big baddie.
I was a big brief baddie, yes.
Did you nick anything?
I think I nicked a little nameplate, Dr. Carabaxis, that I just had on my desk. I don't know where it is anymore.
I know, the bin, I imagine.
Yeah.
Now, Daniel, you haven't been in something like Doctor Who, but you do have kind of nerd merch in your house.
Yeah.
Now, was it your grandfather started you young?
Yeah, when I was 13, my grandparents had this thing, like, once you're 13, you're an adult, so we'll buy you an adult present. And, like, my cousins asked for, like, charm bracelets, and I was heavy into Lord of the Rings, so they bought me one of the swords.
But, like, look, here's a picture of the sword. It's a real sword.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's metal, right?
Yeah, oh, yeah. It's not sharpened on the sides, but you could definitely stab someone with it. And they gave it to a 13-year-old, like, just with glee on their face, being like, it's what he wanted. Like, he's like, we're from the Highlands, this'll suit him perfectly.
You weren't in Washington, D.C. last week, by any chance.
No comment.
But that's not the only thing you have in your house.
No.
Tell us what else you have.
I have a life-size replica of a Velociraptor.
I believe you've got a picture of you with the Velociraptor. That has a whiff of charity auction to me. Drink taken and a charity auction.
He is a rescue. There was a theme park in France that was going to bin it. And I was like, I can't. That's the most upsetting thing I've ever heard. So we had him brought over, and he's in our garden now. Thankfully, he's been tagged and spayed.
Yeah. No, he is quite tame because he's handy around the house.
Trained.
Here he is. Doing a bit of light cleaning. Yeah. And then there's something about this picture. I love that you got him to do this. This is clever. Look at that.
We saved him from France. He has to earn his right to live.
Of course he does. Very good. Now, we begin tonight with the new drama thriller from Keeley Hawes, Finding Alice. It kicks off this Sunday on ITV at 9 o'clock. And this is sort of the perfect Sunday night drama. It's got to cut all those things you want.
Hope.
Well, let's hope. So, look, tell us about it. You're Alice, the rest.
Yes, I play Alice, of Finding Alice. And basically, we start our story the first night in this dream house, a dream smart house, which has been built by Alice's husband, Harry, for her and their daughter, Charlotte. And on the first night in this house, Harry tragically falls down the stairs and dies.
Did you do it?
Pardon me?
Did you do it?
Saved hours, hasn't it?
And it's basically the unravelling, that happens after something like that, a sudden death occurs. And so, yeah.
Well, we've got a clip. This is the morning after said fall on stairs, and you're talking with your parents and parents-in-law.
It's very dark in here.
Curtains. Open.
They're stuck. I'll figure it out.
It's a smart house.
Not that smart.
It is a smart house.
Have you thought about the funeral? They get very booked up. The sooner you can organise it, the better.
You're probably right. We can't do anything until the post-mortem and the probable inquest. What?
Why?
Because they think I killed him.
No, they don't. It's normal for an accidental death.
So he just fell down the stairs. Oh, don't you start. He must have lost his bearings.
No banisters, which is ridiculous.
Why didn't you have banisters? Harry didn't really like them.
Very good. And now, Keeley Hawes, that's worth the price of admission alone. But in fact, no, because you are sort of one of the co-creators of this. You're one of the producers of this.
I am. And it's been quite a journey, with COVID thrown into the middle of shooting.
Because they'd nearly done it, and then I think was it 5 weeks?
We were 5 weeks away from shooting, from wrapping.
So is it just like lots of long shots because the camera couldn't do
it's like this.
anymore?
It's
so
basically
just...
like this. Every drama from now on is like this. So we had 5 weeks left to shoot, which were on location, happily, because it is easier to shoot outside and, in bigger areas, obviously, with more room. But we managed it. So we locked down in March, along with everybody else, and then we picked up at the end of last year and turned that around. So.
But didn't you have to do some intimate scenes?
Oh, I mean, people have. I don't know if you guys have done any filming. Any
We
didn't.
During lockdown.
A lot of the soaps I think have used perspex screens, which I think must be very odd. We didn't do that. One thing we did do was I did have a scene. We were outside happily, and I had a kind of scene where I had to get a little bit. It's a bit spoilery, but I had to get a little bit intimate with another character and get closer than you're really able to. And someone had the brilliant idea of bringing in this actor's poor wife. And putting a wig on her and doubling her for me. So I go up to this point in the scene where I have to move closer.
And then he kisses his
I
wife.
step to the side and his wife steps in and I just stand there at the side like this, just looking, really awkward. And so they have this moment and then I just step back in and carry on shooting the scene.
we didn't do that. On they just tested us, like, rigorously.
And they tested us all day.
Like every second day.
Yeah.
You know, so I was literally gagging, and then by the end of it, I was like typing away on the laptop, things just had so many, it didn't bother me.
Yeah, constantly. Everybody's constantly being tested. They really feel like...
Plus, I'm a different race to the person's partner, so that would have probably been an issue.
More than a wig.
Can you imagine that cut?
Yeah.
So, something odd just happened.
Continuity, very odd.
But,
Do you not think that was a bit gutting for him? Like, he gets to go on set and he's like, today's the day I get to kiss Keeley fucking Hawes. This is great. I get to do this. And then he's like, your wife's here. She's what? What scene?
And you know damn well his wife didn't want to kiss him. She's married. His wife did not want to kiss him.
And what's good is, so acting, filming is getting up and going. Stand-up is a much bigger challenge in these times, but you have managed to do some very strange gigs.
Yes, there was, like, January, February, I managed to go to America, do some shows there, and I was looking forward to going on tour, and then obviously this all happened. And then my first gig back was in a car park to a bunch of cars, like the...
So these are the drive-in...
The drive-in gigs, and I think what they did was, you know, they look at, you know, the American drive-in cinemas where it's, you know, big pickup trucks, there's a big cinema, it's a sunny day, like it's night, the sun's set, and then people open up their wine boxes in the back, and we're in Brent Cross between two motorways with 300 cars.
I think we've got a picture of the car park.
Yeah.
It's that's your audience. You're playing to that.
Yeah, you can't tell from this photo, but I am smashing that gig. Like, I am. Like,
Looks like someone's putting their bags in the boot in that one.
Because obviously it's big, like it's into the radios, and from inside the car, people were really enjoying it because it's you, your mum, your dad, your friends, and you're just drinking together, and not the driver, obviously.
No.
But you're listening to the radio, and it's like a live sort of podcast. But the only way they can laugh or show their approval is by honking their horns. So, like, it's the weirdest noise in the world. You do a joke, and then there's just blah, 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 blah. But by the end of it, when we were driving back up to Scotland the next day, any time we got honked, I was like, thanks, man, that's great. Oh, no, that's bad. That's a bad being a cool dog.
Right, time for our first remote chat tonight. They're the unlikely pairing in the latest episode of Straight Talking. It's Royal Marine turned interviewer Ant Middleton and the Hollywood star of Pitch Perfect and Bridesmaids, Rebel Wilson. Here they are. You're so lazy, Ant. You're so lazy.
I know. Do you know what? I feel like I haven't put the effort in now. I feel really bad. Thanks, Rebel.
Exercising. And you've also got to be hydrating. I love 2021 so far. So reassuring.
This is to you, Rebel.
Oh, very good. Cheers, guys. Cheers.
Cheers.
Rebel, we've seen all the pictures in the papers, but it's clearly true. You look fabulous.
I mean, yeah, thanks. I'm just having a really healthy lifestyle. It's just every time I turn on the news, I'm just like, yeah, I thought life is great. What you want, okay?
I feel like Ant's hand is going to come into the side and rip it out of your hand.
I feel like he's just doing Kegels off camera.
Oh, the other way, the other way, the other way.
There you go. Yeah. So you are here together because Ant Middleton, Rebel Wilson, Straight Talking, and it's sort of a long-form interview in the wilds of Mexico. Is that the best way to describe it?
Yeah, what it's designed to do is designed to take them out of their comfort zone, to take them out of their bubble, you know, especially someone like Rebel that paps on them 24/7. You know, she can't go anywhere without being hassled. So this is the prime time to really take her out into the wild. I've got her for 3 days. Now, 3 days is a long time to interview someone. So I've got enough time to really dig deep and find out who she really is.
Because Rebel, you know, being interviewed is one thing, but Ant is trained in interrogation techniques and things. Were you, going into it, seriously, were you nervous that he would kind of worm things out of you that you never intended to say?
Well, Graham, I never knew about that before. They only told me that when I got into the Mexican wilderness, and I'm like, what? He's trained in interrogation techniques? Should I practice waterboarding or like? I was down for the adventure, really. And then I found out about the interrogating and, you know, all the dangerous stuff later.
Before it was too late by then, Rebel, wasn't it? It was too late. You were like, listen, it's done. 3 days just went, and you gave up all your secrets.
Because Noel Clarke here, you've been doing SAS training, haven't you?
I did a tiny little bit of SAS training because I got a movie coming out called SAS Red Notice. Yeah.
I recognise the face. I recognise the face.
Hi, mate. It's an Andy McNab film. He said you young guys were quite soft and weren't as tough as his lot.
Listen, they're past it, mate. They're past it. Don't listen to them.
Don't shoot the messenger. Don't take out the messenger. I'm just saying.
I'm glad this is a Zoom. I think if Anne was here, you wouldn't be saying that.
No, because Andy told me that I could probably take Anne out as well. Wait. It's what Andy told me. I'm not. I'm just saying.
Anne's backstage.
The challenge is on now.
Look, he's frozen now. He's terrified.
Because Keeley, you played loads of kind of detectives and soldiers. Have you learnt skills?
Well, yeah, I suppose I have done lots of running around in high heels. I can do that. I can run really, really fast in a pair of high heels.
That's a skill.
That's what I've learned.
That's a skill for sure.
Yeah.
I tried it. I fell right.
Why did you try it?
I can do it.
That's another story.
Listen, we've got a clip. Ant Middleton and Rebel Wilson straight talking. It's available now on Sky On Demand and Now TV. Here's a clip.
And that was you. I feel like that was you. You got me. Gee, don't do that, Anne.
I can't see any sharks.
I know. Should we get back to the boat?
Yeah, let's do it. Come on.
Okay.
After 45 minutes, it's 1-0 to the Sharks. But I'm not giving up. I really want Rebel to have this experience. So all we can do now is wait and wait and wait.
How long did you have to wait?
Well, we waited for 3 hours, but it was quite funny because myself and Rebel fell asleep on the back of the boat, and it was quite surreal. They didn't manage to catch this bit, but I can remember waking up, and you know when you fall asleep, you sort of get in a comfy position, and we both got into this position. And I looked over, and sort of Rebel was spooning me, and I think I woke her up with my snorring, and I just looked around to make sure there was no cameras, and I sort of shot up and right, the shark's here, you know, acting all cool and all hard. But 2 minutes ago, we were spooning together, fast asleep, and I thought to myself, thank God the cameras didn't capture that.
Yeah, but I will say, Graham, the only reason I got in that water was disgusting because Ant was chumming it up, putting all these dead fishes and guts and everything in the water to try to attract the sharks. But then I got desperate to go to the toilet because it had been hours. And that was the only reason why I got in that water.
Okay, that may be why the sharks didn't show up.
There you go, mate. There you go.
Because Daniel Sloss, are you an outdoorsy person? Would you do this?
No, I'd go swimming with sharks. I like the fact that Ant considered 1-0 Sharks when they didn't turn up. Like 1-0 to the Sharks. 1-0 to the Sharks is when you've got no legs left.
But Rebel, you clearly went for it. You posted this picture of a very serious injury. It does look slightly like your nipple has slipped out, but that's a...
Okay, no.
Not guilty.
Basically, with Ant, we did all this crazy, dangerous stuff. But basically, that injury in that photo happened the day after we'd finished filming.
When I left her.
I was very safe with Ant. But then what happened is I had to go to the beach to take some hot photos for Instagram. It's not every day you're in Mexico. So I went, and then a freak wave came up and knocked my friend's handbag into the ocean that had her passport and her wallet. So I went running in like Baywatch style to save the handbag, and I got hit against the rocks. So that injury that you can see is I got all scraped down my left-hand side and all bruised ribs. So basically, Ant protected me, and like we were totally fine, even though we did the most dangerous things. But taking the hot Instagram photos on the beach was my downfall.
Were you able to at least get the passport?
Yeah, we got the passport and we like put paper towel in between their pages and it was fine.
Survival expert, Rebel. There you go, very good. Rebel and Ant, it's lovely to talk to you both. I'm glad you're still good friends. Good luck with your episode of Straight Talking. Ant Middleton and Rebel Wilson, everybody!
Thanks, guys.
Woo! Talking of fitness, Noel Clarke here, you started off, you were a personal trainer.
I was, yeah.
Have I
Gym
made this
instructor
up?
and personal trainer. No, I was, indeed, yeah, for many, many years, yeah.
And you were kind of spotted in that gym.
I was. That's how I kind of got into acting. I mean, I always wanted to do acting, but I was in that gym just scrubbing the sweat off machines like a diligent worker. Because in between training people, you have to keep the gym clean. And that's sort of where I was found, as it were, yeah.
And then this is I think this is amazing. So you get some jobs, you do some stuff for Channel 4, you're doing other jobs, but then, like lots of actors, you're struggling a bit. Lots of people do that. But then you wrote a screenplay, Kidulthood.
Yes.
But you got it made. I mean, where did the inspiration for that script come from, and where did the kind of gumption and drive come from to get it actually made?
Well, the gumption and drive kind of just came from working in the gym. I've always had that sort of personality of just like, you know, just wanting to work hard and wanting to achieve stuff. And, you know, I used to, when I was working in the gym and people would come in the morning, I would make sure that the machines were the cleanest. I'd make sure, when I used to teach spin cycling, for those who don't know, you know, forget Peloton, it was Clarkaton. I used to teach, I was on them bikes, like, come on. I used to teach the spin cycling. And to this day, I get messages saying my classes were the best, so shout out. But so that's where the gumption came from. But I lived in Latham, Elaborate Grove, near Grenfell Tower, which is Kensington and Chelsea, which is Notting Hill. And so I loved my area, and then one day this film comes out called Notting Hill, which, by the way, I loved the movie, but I'm like, a film about my area, about me, it represents me. So I go and watch it. Oh, this is going to be good. The girl's next to me, I'm like, you're going to see my area here. It's just a little bit different to my experience, ever so slightly. Yeah. And there was a moment where the camera panned, I'm like, they're going to show my estate, they're going to show my estate. And it just stopped. And I was like, well, I live there. That's not my experience. So I said, well, I'll write my experience and see how that plays out. And it became Kidulthood.
Do you think Hugh Grant did the same thing when Kidulthood came out? He was like, wait till you see my area.
Wait till you see my wonderfully posh house. They said that our film did one thing that film didn't, was put a cap on the house prices in Notting Hill. I was proud about that, because people suddenly were like, I don't know if we want to move there anymore.
That is an achievement.
Yeah.
But so you...
That's when I bought, by the way.
That was clever.
Straight in.
Almost like insider dealing.
Hey, yo, bruv. Bye.
Hey, one of Noel Clarke's most successful creations is back. This is yourself and Ashley Walters. You're returning in Bulletproof.
Yes.
It's out on Sky One this Wednesday at 9, also available on Now TV. And, I mean, this is your baby. You created it,
Yes.
You got it made again, but you must be thrilled. This is a huge hit for Sky.
Yeah, I mean, a massive hit. We're very proud. You know, Ashley and I sort of, bumped into each other one day at an event and was like, we should probably work together. Yeah. And then went to a coffee shop like the week after. We're like shooting ideas around and came up with this. And then we've just heard today that Series 4 has been commissioned and will be happening.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
All aboard Clarke Express!
Bye. And, very proud.
So this is Bulletproof 3, and this takes you to South Africa.
Yes.
So how does that happen? What happens?
Well, the characters go through a lot in season 1 and 2 for those people that have seen it, and so we decide that, well, Pike's family's Ashley Walters' character decides they're going to take a family holiday, and my character, being the character he is like, well, I'm coming. If you're going on holiday, I'm coming. So he tags along, and they're on the beach chilling out, and something happens on the beach, and they can't help but get involved, and that takes them on an adventure for the next 3 episodes.
Was it Rebel Wilson running in to get a passport?
100% was it.
Now, your description of it there, that will get bums on seats for sure, but I believe this picture may also draw an audience. This happens.
That does actually happen.
That does actually happen.
That does actually happen.
It's the Clarkaton.
But yeah, so that actually does happen. Not that particular moment. That was for the gram, obviously.
It's a very unusual free-kick wall, that. Just Messi standing there.
Well, you know.
But is that why you had to get into shape? Because for Bulletproof, you do get into shape.
Yes, we do get into shape, and we did get into shape. That isn't the reason we got into shape. It's a good thing we did, though. What happened, it was in season 2. We were shooting season 2. And Ashley and I were there chatting away one day, and we did a take, and we were just laughing, and I was laughing, and I looked at the footage after, and I had like 4 hot dogs at the back of my neck. And I was like, what are those? What are those? And Ashley was like, yeah, didn't I tell you? And I'm like, mate, you need to stop talking Shrek, you know, because he's like this. And then we both looked at each other and were like, we're out of shape. And we went on this health kick. And so during season 2, for those that have watched it, I start season 2 at 13.5 stone and I end it at just under 11. So the
like
costume...
a backwards lockdown.
Yeah, the costume lady, it was a nightmare for her because by the end, I looked like I was my son wearing my clothes, you know, because they were just hanging off. But I literally lost all that weight during season, and Ashley did, and we got 6 packs, and now it's lockdown, so it's back to a keg. But I'll get it back.
Hey, let's watch a clip. This is yourself and Ashley as Bishop and Pike, and you are tracking down a suspect.
Welcome to our church.
Thank you. Yeah, actually, we were looking for this guy. Wondered if you recognise him.
Please. This is really important. Or maybe we can give you something in return. Bish.
Yeah, here.
No. I want your shoes.
You want my shoe? This kid wants my shoes.
I know.
Yeah.
Give in to him.
What? Give him the shoes. Give him the shoes. Well, I want me to punch up this kid in the church.
I want to get arrested for beating up a boy over trainers.
Please,
Give him
man.
the shoes, man.
Can I just have the shoes?
Bro, I don't care what I have to do. He ain't getting my shoes.
Borna!
So it's after that scene, the kid also manages to get all of your clothes off.
Yeah,
you. That's why you're both nude.
We chase the ball and his mates are waiting around the corner and they take one.
OK, time to meet our final remote guest. He is the iconic director of films such as Unbreakable, Split, and, of course, The Sixth Sense. Please welcome M Night Shyamalan. Hey!
Hey, guys.
Hello!
How are you?
We're very well. So nice to see you. Now, I believe I call you Knight. Is that right?
That's correct. Yeah, that's great.
The M is silent. OK. So it's lovely to have you on the show finally. As I'm sure you know, we've had lots of stars of your movies on the show. And then I wasn't sure whether you knew this or not, but apparently you do, that Matthew Perry was on the show and told this extraordinary anecdote involving him thinking he'd spent a night with you. But apparently you do know about it, and there is an M Night Shyamalan twist to this anecdote.
Well, yeah, so he went on your show and he tells this story of being out with me all night. And then at the end of the night, he's having the greatest time. And at the end of the night, he meets one of his friends and his friend's like, how's it going? And he says, it's the greatest night of my life. I've been hanging out with M Night Shyamalan. And then the guy turns and says, that's not M Night Shyamalan. And he's been hanging out with a random Indian dude all night long. So that's the story that Matthew told when he was on your show.
Yeah.
So then I'm watching it, and here's the twist. We did actually hang out. That's actually what's so astonishing. Okay, so I've pieced it together, and I have a amateur sleuth answer for what happened. So we were hanging out. We were hanging out, and we were having fun, and then Matthew's like, let's go to another place, and I'm like, you know what? I'm a little tired. I'm gonna leave here, and you can go to the other place. Meanwhile, there's this kind of fan that's been hanging about, and he's also Indian. And he's been a big fan. He's come over a couple times, wants to hang out with us, and we're like, hey, it's okay, brother. And he's over there. And what I think happened is that Matthew went on to continue partying, and this other Indian dude joined him. And then later in that evening, his friend came over and said, that's not M. Night Shyamalan. And then Matthew thought he second-guessed himself that we actually had this evening together. So all these years later, I have to see him because we did hang out. We had a great time, and he was very funny.
I love that as an anecdote and anecdote part 2. That's fantastic. But it's really you, I'm told. So you're here to tell us about your latest hit TV drama. This is Servant. It's on Apple TV Plus from today. And now this is the second series. So if people don't know, where do we find the characters at this stage?
Oh, wow. The show is about a couple that have tragically lost their child. And the wife was doing a very kind of controversial therapy where she pretended her child was still alive by this doll, pretending this doll was her child. And this is actually a fringe therapy that actually exists. And she believes it so much that she hires a nanny for the doll. And then in the first season, out of nowhere, the nanny's taking care of the doll, and then suddenly there's a real child there. And we don't know where the child's come from. Is it the nanny's? We don't know anything. And at the end of season 1, the nanny leaves and the child leaves. And the beginning of season 2 is her thinking that her child has been kidnapped, and the husband realizing that this lie he's been perpetrating with his wife may get exposed.
Mr. Knight, sir.
A question from Noel Clarke. I feel like Fiona Bruce song. Question. Yes, look at him over here.
Mr. Knight, sir, I've actually watched the show. Big fan, by the way, not a suck-up. Are we going to find out more about the nanny's so-called parents and stuff? With no spoilers, but you know what I'm talking about. Will we find out a bit more about that?
Well, yes, you will. Yeah, the second season, you get a lot of wonderful answers on the mythology. One of the positive things that happened in this quarantine is I could just go in my library and work out what was going to happen in the series and where we were going to go to. So I laid out every episode all the way to the end of the finish of the show and what information you're going to get. So it was, it's a mystery, and you get to tell those things. So this second season, you're going to get to know stuff.
Does a handsome 40s English black man turn up at the end of season 2, beginning of season 3? You know
what? I'm getting an idea. I'm getting some ideas right now.
I was thinking that. I could sense. I had a sixth sense, as it were.
Very good. Very good.
He just lost it.
I ruined it. Damn it.
Knight, you brought us a clip of season 2 of Servant. What are we going to see?
This is from the opening of the second season. So essentially the very, very beginning of this moment when the wife realizes that the child is gone and the nanny's gone. And then she does something which you'll watch. And then the husband's reaction to realizing that everyone might find out that he's been duping his wife.
Here it is.
9780 Spruce Street. It's an emergency. It's life or death. He's gone. So's Leanne. Can you hear me? They've taken Jericho.
Who did you call?
The police! Who do you think? Don't just stand there, do something!
Ooh, good. And you are such an extraordinary storyteller, and you've made so many films over the years. Daniel, you are a fan of a particular one, I know.
Yeah, but I had no idea that it was one of your movies. Did you write Stuart Little?
Yes, I did. Yeah.
Amazing.
How did you not know
that? It's like finding out that Scorsese did Teletubbies.
Oh, I knew that. How creepy is that mouse? How creepy is the mouse?
Oh, it's great.
Oh, it's adorable.
It's one of the greats.
I mean, I think at the center of all my movies, there is a family going through something extraordinary. And coming out on the other side.
It fits into the oeuvre.
It does. And so it's fun for me to write about families. And on Stuart Little, I got to do more comedy, which is something that really I love to do.
I genuinely love those.
Oh, I love it. No, me too.
Do a third one.
Knight, it's been a real pleasure to meet you. If it is
Thank
really
you so
best of luck with Servant. M Night Shyamalan, everybody. Good night. What a nice man. OK, we turn to Daniel Sloss. And Daniel, we're lucky to have you here tonight because it's rare this happens to stand-ups. I guess it's because of Netflix, but you are properly international. You play everywhere.
Yes, yeah. My last show, X, came out just after my 2 Netflix specials came out, and just things went wild. But it meant my last tour was about 18 months, and we got to do places like Russia, Japan, Singapore, Hong Kong, Estonia, Iceland, America, Lithuania. Really like places that I never expected that I'd get the chance to go and perform, and then you go there and it was insane. I mean, I lost my mind.
No, because you're not just doing it to... It's not like... I think some comics go and they do it to, like, 5 people and it's for the experience. You're doing this in proper big venues.
Yeah, Russia was 3,000 seats in an old aircraft hangar. Wow. And I go on tour with my best friend, fellow comedian, Kai Humphreys, and we've toured together for years and years and years. And there's so many places we've gone to where I am about to gain, like, the accolade first English-speaking comedian in that country. But because he opens for me, it's his accolade every time. We get to Lithuania, and they're like, you're going to be the first English-speaking comedian in Lithuania. And I'm like, brilliant. And Kai's like, no, you're not. So he's just posting off of everything. But I am single-handedly responsible for global warming. Like, I do have to apologise at this point.
At what point did the audience become cars?
just during this pandemic. Oh, and also, good. Most Russians are actually Transformers, so they
we must talk about one of your specials, Jigsaw, has led to this kind of extraordinary thing. I mean, and apparently you could see it on stage. When you're on stage, you could see it having an effect on your audience.
Yes, so the show is essentially, it's a love letter to single people, right? I think there's nothing wrong with being single. I think we live in a society where we convince people that if they're not in a relationship that they're not enough, and I don't think that's true. So it's originally just meant to be talking about, you know, the shitty relationships that people boast about on Instagram, where they're like, look at us, we're so happy, and you're like, you're not happy. I got so bored of that. And my dad had told me this analogy when I was younger, and I started doing it on stage. And we started noticing contention amongst couples in the audience. And then I started getting, like, tweets a couple of days afterwards being like, I just broke up with my partner because of you. Me and my boyfriend of 5 years, we've just broken up. And so I started keeping a tally, because that's hysterical. Like, it's, you know, I had no idea it was going to have that impact. And then it went on Netflix, and it's now, I think it's 120,000 breakups, 350 cancelled engagements, and 300 divorces that the show's caused.
That's fantastic.
That's awful.
No.
Oh, that's fantastic. They weren't right for each other anyway. I applaud you, man.
Yeah, I'm not breaking up. It's not... If you sit down beside the love of your life, you're not going to break up. If you sit down beside the love of your life, you're going to watch it and you're going to agree with it because you're in the right relationship. But what it does is, for people who are in abusive relationships, bad relationships where they're sort of taken advantage of...
Oh, no, that's very good. You're getting a delayed laugh from me.
I'm telling...
Very good.
Not many people will go to your next show on a date, I would thought.
No. If you and your partner are having a rough time during lockdown, I thoroughly recommend it. I really, really do. It's
I won't be watching that, thanks, though.
And, Daniel, I would have been talking to you tonight about your new book, Everyone You Hate Is Going to Die. But...
It's a positive book. How's that not a positive message?
It's a great title.
It's a crowd pleaser.
Yeah.
But it's been delayed, and it's not just a COVID-y delay, is it?
It was originally a COVID-y delay because obviously it's being released in America first, and we want to combine it with a book tour out there, but we also want to not die while doing that, either by a pandemic or, you know, general Americans. And then I also decided to add in a chapter about mental health because I lost my mind last year.
Because of the amount of work or because of Corona?
Because of COVID. So I'd gone from, like, 18 months of, like, constantly touring, of, like, every day getting my confidence and my self-worth from a room full of strangers. And then it was just suddenly me. And my girlfriend loves me, but not as much as 3,000 Russians. So, like every day, I was like, babe, you need to up this because, like, I'm really missing this type of attention. So I then had to do a lot of self-reflection. So I was like, oh, I'm going to add that in as well.
Good luck to you. Daniel Sloss, everybody. Hey. It's time for music. This singer-songwriter shot to fame in 2012 with the hit single Lightning Bolt, and he's here tonight performing All I Need. Please welcome Jake Bugg!
Call me cynical, but original.
don't let me down. It don't let me down. Tell me where the fight is. Tell me where the high is. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Tell me where the fight is. Tell me where the high is. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? I know who you are, and I'm never wrong. I believe you're nothing if you think that you are someone. Just try and realize that you don't have to lie. Everybody's trying to live just one day at a time. I don't think twice, 'cause I know my mind. This could be our time. Tonight, it feels so right. All I need, it don't let me down. It don't let me down. All I need, it don't let me down. It don't let me down. Tell me where the fight is. Tell me where the high is. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Tell me where the fight is. Tell me where the high is. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? I don't think twice, 'cause I know my mind. All I need, it don't let me down. It don't let me down. All I need, it don't let me down. It don't let me down. Tell me where the fight is. Tell me where the high is. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Tell me where the fight is. Tell me where the high is. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Great! Jake Bugg and his band and his backing vocalist. Come on over, take two. Ooh, there's a whiff of show business and some glitter in that jacket. Oh, he's changed. He's changed. Have a seat, too. There's a nice clean chair for you. Thank you very much for that, Jake Bugg. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks, man. How are you? You're right.
I'm great.
Your suit, by the way. I love your suit. It's
Oh,
great.
thank you very much. I like your glittery showbiz jacket. Yeah. And that is all I need. That's the single. That's
the single, yeah.
out now.
Out now, yeah, that's right.
And that's off a mythical album.
Not so mythical, no. It's
Oh, is it happening?
Yeah, it's my 5th record, and yeah, I'm pretty much there with it now. We're just waiting for a good time to release it, and yeah, hopefully by the end of the year, I hope so. Mythical.
Just wait for a good time to release it. Good luck with that.
Yeah, true, yeah.
And when do you think you might get back to live performances, or are you not even thinking about that at the moment?
Yeah, it'd be nice towards the second half of the year, but I doubt if it's going to happen.
Mate, I know some car park gigs, if you fancy.
I'm all right, thanks.
The emotional vortex of need is not so deep here.
Depends what car park.
Well, thank you very much for that performance. Jake Bugg, everybody! Right, that is nearly it. Before we go, just time for a visit to the big red chair. Now, once again, audience watching from home, so do we have a volunteer to sit in the chair for them?
I'll do it.
No, I'll stop.
No, fine,
Are you going
Go
down?
on.
I'll be a judge.
Go on, Daniel. There you go.
I'll not.
Yeah, it'll still be there. I promise you won't nick it. No, don't nick it. There he goes. That's beautiful. So while Daniel is getting settled, let's meet the first person who's up for the virtual red chair. Hello.
Hello, good evening, Graham. Good evening, everybody.
What's your name, sir?
I'm Annesley.
Annesley, and where are you?
I'm in Pinner in Middlesex.
Marvellous.
Hey.
The sinner from Pinner. And what do you do in Pinner?
I'm a political communications consultant.
Well, now, who knew? I know, tempting. No, let's wait. Let's wait. Let's see if Daniel Sloss is ready in the chair. There he is. Look at him. Oh, he's keen. He's keen. OK, so you are going to tell a story that will prevent Daniel Sloss from being tipped in the chair. Off you go, sir.
So during the first lockdown, I was tearing my hair out trying to find a cleaner because nobody was available.
Yeah. I mean, was the expression tone deaf invented for this? Sorry, Daniel, but I'm sure you'll agree.
100%. I was almost certain it was just me throwing myself back there in disgust.
OK, let's try another one. Let's try another one. Oh, we're just looking into it. We're just... oh, from my wine. Whoa, no, there you go. Oh, nice. Whoa. Good game, good game. Oh, we're good to go. Hello. What's your name?
My name is Judith Scott.
Lovely. Are you very far away, Judith Scott?
I'm in Brisbane, Australia today.
Well, today? Do you know what? I think I'll just let you tell...
Every day.
Yeah, I'll just let you tell your story, because the chatty thing seems quite difficult. Let's just let you tell your story.
OK, well, I was on holiday as a newlywed with my husband in Canada, and we were staying with our in-laws. After a day out, we went to an ice cream shop to get some ice creams. Yeah. I went to the loo. When I came out, I saw that my husband was bent over looking at some ice cream pizzas. He had shorts on, and I had got into the habit of whenever he's got shorts on, I would run my hand up his inside short leg and grab and tug whatever I could find. So I crept over and ran my fingers up his legs and pulled some pubic hair out. An almighty roar came out of the owner as I realised it was my father-in-law's leg, not my husband's. He turned round, holding his groin.
Good story.
Big mouth and absolutely shocked.
I think you can walk. You can walk. That was a good story. Yes. Yeah.
Thank you.
Very good. Well done. That is all we've got time for. If you'd like to have a go in that venture yourself and tell your story, you can just contact us at our website at this very address. Please say a huge thank you to all of my guests tonight. Jake Bugg, everybody. M Night Shyamalan. Daniel Sloss. Ant Middleton and Rebel Wilson. Noel Clarke. And Keeley Hawes. Join me next week with Celeste, James Norton, Camille Cotin, Ian Wright, Neil Patrick Harris, and Kerry Mulligan. I'll see you then. Good night, everybody. Bye-bye.
Keeley Hawes is, of course, one of the many Line of Duty stars, and it just so happens it's streaming now on BBC iPlayer. If it's too much effort to choose a film now, we have chosen one for you on BBC One. Charlize Theron stars in Young Adult, coming up next.